Good evening and welcome to twitch.tv. I am WriterGreg. Glad to be with you this evening and happy to be a part of the WorldAnvil Summer Camp 2020 Writing Challenge. This is the challenge where we do 33 prompts in 30 days, building out our world, trying to make sure that we have something that's real, something that we have to live into. I'm happy to be here and really grateful for all of the other individuals who are participating in the WorldAnvil stream, WorldAnvil Summer Camp contest. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. It's not a contest. We're all winners, and we're all learning and working and growing together. So it is pretty exciting to be here and see all of the growth that has happened in the last couple of weeks as we've been working together. I have made some enhancements to the stream, and hopefully everyone likes the countdown timer and also the music that we have in the background. This way we can all know exactly when we're starting, and I do try to start on time as best as I can to make sure that those who are here, we can get started on time and we can get in and get out and support as many streamers as we can who are working on that. And to start that off, I do want to give a shout out to the Anvilite Streamer Corps. That is the streamers who focus on the world building using the WorldAnvil.com platform for RPGers and writers alike. I do this more for the writing, and it has been a lot of fun to see how that has grown and helped me become a better writer, and also to find a great community to work to. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone and being a part of the WorldAnvil.com stream and doing a part of that. It looks like Zog Mad Dog is about to be done with his stream, so we'll just give it another couple minutes, and hopefully we'll be able to enjoy and provide some great information for those who are coming on over. All right, so what we're going to be doing today is prompt number 13. This is to write about a secret code or cipher in your world, who uses it and for what purpose. And this is going to be this one was a challenge for me because I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do for a secret code, because and welcome Zog Mad Dog and everyone over there, Gambate, and hello. I am so happy to welcome everyone over to and receive the torch of WorldAnvil.com's Summer Camp 2020. Thank you so much for Zog Mad Dog for the raid of 20 people. Wow. I was in that stream earlier, and I just hope that I can provide as good insight and entertainment as Zog Mad Dog was able to provide. And don't worry, I will mess up as many words pronunciations as possible, because that's what I do. So thank you so much, Zog Mad Dog, for sharing the raid, and I hope that everyone here has a fun time. We are going to be working on the secret code or cipher in your world. And who has the words or heart emote? I would love to have one. I would love to have any emotes, honestly. Right now, I am at 43 followers, and the magic number that we're pushing for is to get up to 50. So if there's anybody who has just raided over from Zog Mad Dog who hasn't had an opportunity to follow this channel, as demonstrated here by Forno Raisin, I hope I pronounced that right. So thank you so much for no reason. And anyone else who hasn't followed before, please throw that in there so that we can help build the community. In an earlier stream, there was a motto where we're building worlds, building community, and building each other. And I think E Songbird was the one who said that, and it was just really exciting because we are a community and we all want to build each other as better writers, as better creatives. And another follow-in coming in from DM Stretch. Thank you so much for that follow. And words are heart emoji. If you can fit that into 72 pixels, let's do it. All right. I do look forward to having more as we get in here. And let's start off with the secret code. Please, all those who are in here, when I finish this prompt, I will be offering critiques or showcases. So if anyone has new articles that haven't been shared before, or even old articles that have already been shared, and you'd like to have my spin on it, or to have a chance for me to ask questions and hopefully drive some of that creativity forward, please prep those articles, and we will do those hopefully soon after the prompt has been completed. But we're just let's get this prompt dug in, and then we will go forward. So let us go here. All right. I did have a couple of notes that I wanted to use, and hopefully I can find them. And because when we were talking about secret languages, it was a challenge for me to figure out what kind of a secret language do I want to have, because I didn't want to do something like a thieves' cant, or there was some great, I believe Kahuna the Elder had the stacking of rocks for trail guides. I'm already forgetting the name because I couldn't pronounce it the first time I read it. But there have just been some really creative things out there, and I wanted to figure out what could I do that was similar. And that was RPG Bob. Yes, I'm sorry, RPG Bob. Need to give credit where credit is due. That was a fun article to critique because it was so inventive of a new idea, that how someone could pretend to be super knowledgeable and practically omniscient, but using just a simple device. So that was a fun article to read, and I hope to, Cairns. That's right, Cairns. So hopefully, my thing will be able to stick up to that quality. But what I'm going to be talking a little bit, and I'm not sure of the name of what I'm going to be talking about it, but for a placeholder, I'm going to call it Draconic. Yeah, Scribe, I recommend it. I did have some vibes of years ago in Boy Scouts when you would stack rocks to point trails and stuff like that, but he took it way up to the next level, and so it was a fun article read. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing tonight is going to be called So Logical and So Well Laid Out. Yes, and he drew pictures, which helped make sure that we could understand and really get a good thing in there. So tonight, for my secret language, I'm going to talk about draconic spell casting. So let's go to navigation. Let's throw in. Now, is the music too loud? I get a feeling it's too loud, but I have it like at 2%. So tell me, is this music too loud? Of course, when I stop talking, it's going to be too loud because Okay. I think I got that, but hopefully the music doesn't get too loud. And this is uh, really techno. All right. Sorry about this. Just want to. Oh, wrong button. Excuse me while there's a while the problem exists between the chair and the keyboard. Let me get that back going on. Hopefully, might be type of music. Yeah, the type of the type of the music's. I have it on the Epic station because I do like Epic music, but it sometimes gets a little loud. All right. Yeah, PEBCAC is the abbreviation. Problem exists between keyboard and chair, PEBCAC. Or it's the ID10T error for those who are familiar with that that message. So it's good. Okay, so let us save this, and yes, Songbird, you got it. The ID10T error message. I have had that a lot as I'm learning how to do all of this streaming. So it's fun. All right. So let's go through here and see if we can fill out some of these blanks before we jump over to the dictation portion of our working on the prompt. Phonology, morphology, syntax, vocabulary, alphabet, phonetics. Wow. Common usage, common phrases, common female. I don't have geographic distribution, spoken by. I don't have an ethnic group yet. This is going to be a challenge here. Dictionary. Nope, I don't have that. So, panic, problem in chair, not in computer. Oh, picnic, problem in chair, not in computer. Oh, that's a new one. That is definitely something that I've experienced before. Okay, so let's move that keyboard out of the way and switch over to our dictation window here, because I don't really think that I have a lot of the traditional stuff that we have here for the vignette. So I'm just gonna go for it and go through my notes and type and dictate that out. If you have any questions or suggestions. How do you get that numbered column down the left-hand side? Numbered column down the left-hand side. Oh, is that, this is the Euclid editor that is available to everyone. It's regardless of, there's the WYSIWYG, there's the Legacy, and the Euclid. This is this is more, you would feel more comfortable with this if you were working with code, with BB code, and putting things in. Let me open up an older article, and let me actually, in my studios, I have an article template that this will give you more of an idea of what it looks like. And this is, I'm creating some tail analysis, because what I do with Sagadorm is that I take fairy tales and change them into how they would fit in the world of Sagadorm, and how it also how I would have it in a cinematic universe and with a consistent magic, and fixing some of the problems as I see it with the original Grimm fairy tales. And so this is a article template that I created on WorldAnvil, where I can go in and I can just start putting in all of this information. And it, instead of having the boxes here, which prompts you to do different things, I've been able to create my own. Okay, Des the cat, what question do you have? Want to be able to help out answer a question. Euclid good, BB code, Euclid bad, no spell check. Yeah, that is a problem with that. But for some reason, yeah, my Grammarly plugin that I have doesn't work in here. So that definitely is an issue that hopefully maybe could be addressed. But I've seen in the WorldAnvil AMA streams how Dimitri and Janet aren't talking about putting a spell check in because there are so many good plugins for our different browsers. So if we could get one working for that, that would be good. Okay, so let's jump in here and talk about if I can remember what I'm calling this, draconic spell casting. But maybe, is there a different way to say of the dragons than draconic? Because that it gives a very RPG flavor that I may not want to have in my world, because this isn't an RPG world. Is there a better word for draconic than draconic? Dragonkin? Yeah, Dragonborn is very much of the Elder Scrolls. Dragonkin. Kin is a word that refers to is very similar to Dragonborn. Well, I don't have dragon folk anymore because not sure if there's, Wiremic. Drakekin. Ooh, I like Wiremic. Wiremic? Is that Deslica? Is that how? Sure, prove me wrong. No, I like Wiremic because there's this one types of dragons image. Yeah, here we go. I don't know. This is, come on. Open in a new tab. Open link in new tab. Yeah, see, this is, hopefully you can see that this is the different kind of dragons and a wyvern. And see, when I talk about my five dragons and 4 dragons of the different things, I use this one greatly. And the salamander is, for those who have read the Runaway's Hope, my dragon in there is a salamander. But I do like Wormic. Wormic sounds, as I pronounce it, as worm. What's the AE sound? Wermic? Wermic. I could go for that. Sold. Okay, Wermic. That W. Let me scroll back to where that was. Wermic. Oh wait, spell. Wermic spell casting. Awesome. See, this community's awesome. Okay, let me get rid of that. Wermic. Okay, yeah. It's not WorldAnvil if we know how to pronounce words. Come on, what are we talking about here? Well, a dragon would be Yeah, they would. They would. Wyvern. I like the wyvern. The wyvern idea. Okay, well, that gave me some good ideas to talk about that. That I didn't think of the different types of dragons, but that. Okay. Oh, yeah, I did. Some of the mod catch Des the cat. Okay, yeah. So yes, a dragon would be upset at being called a worm. You're not put in jail. I just have a really strict. I set the mod to as strict as possible. So, all right, let's get into this. Thank you so much for that. Jail? No. There's no jail yet. All right, so let's talk about this. And no, wrong window. Okay. Ay. I don't want anyone to have PTSD because of Twitch jail. So please. All right, let's get in this and get this dictated out so that we can get to some fun community showcases. The Wyrmic language was the language spoken of by the dragons of Sagadorm. Period. The knowledge of this language was nearly lost with the death of Suvaklarg, the last dragon. Period. He died at the hands of Vola, in the year 625 BCE. Period. In the transference of the draconic power into Vola, who became the first human to be able to perform magics, I.E. A fairy, she also received all of the intellectual knowledge of the dragons. Period. The fairies of Sagadorm perform magic in a couple of different ways. Period. The first is a sign language where their fingers move in specific patterns to cast a spell. Period. This is an imitation of the claws of Suvaklarg, who was able to use his feet to cast the magic. Period. As humans and fairies have more fingers and greater dexterity, they are able to perform more intricate magics than the dragons, but there was a lot of trial and error required to fine-tune the different spells. Period. Another way of performing magic is to use incantations that verbalize the spell being created. Period. A weaker form of this magic can be used in the native tongue of the fairy. period. However, the most powerful version of this spell casting is when using the Wiremic language, period. This language is documented in a book, written by Vola, called, open quote, The Lost Sacred Texts of Suvaklarg, period, close quote. This is the only known written copy of the Wyvern language, period. It is kept sacred from all other magical practitioners because of the potency of the magic that can be released when speaking in this lost tongue, period. Only the most trusted of the fairies, meaning the chancellors of the elemental sects, were taught the draconic, the Wyvern phrases to certain spells, period. Prior to Vola's death, she devised a new spell that would allow her to transfer the knowledge she obtained from Suvaklarg to another person, period. She repeated this spell 5 times, once for each of the 5 chancellors of the elemental sects, metal, fire, air, water, earth, period. There was a limitation in the spell that she used in transferring the knowledge of the dragons, period. To prevent unauthorized dissemination of this information, all future chancellors must be in a group of at least 3 to cast the spell as a group ritual to bestow the knowledge onto a chancellor, period. This pattern was repeated as it went forward when a chancellor passed away and was replaced. Dazaklat, thank you very much. Is that a good night stretch? Oh, DM Stretch, you're heading out. Thank you so much for coming, and hope you have much success in your long day tomorrow. And thank you so much for your follow at the beginning of the stream. I really appreciate it. Have a good night. Okay, so with that, let's just see how well we did on the word count. I'm going to go over to my Google Doc that I used to transfer this. Tools, word count, 408. Awesome. Okay, so let's get ready for critiques or submissions. Anyone who has a submission or a showcase that they would like to have shared with the community and you'd like to have my feedback on, feel free to post it in the chat now as I get this information over into the vignette. So we'll just take a second to do that right now. And I know that this has a lot of fixing that needs to happen, especially because of the transcription errors of the language, the new words that are made up, and so that's just always an issue that needs to be fixed. So I'm going to save these changes here. Let's go to the community challenge. Click to submit. One of these streams, I'm going to have to, if I get caught up, I'm just going to have an editing stream where we just do all that. Right now I'm behind a little bit, and I'm a little bit behind. All right, so let's switch over to the full screen. Does anyone like to submit to have a article showcased? Okay, for no reason. Awesome. We'll do you first. Let me get over to NaNoWrimo. Hopefully NaNoWrimo actually works tonight. Copy link address. Okay, you're going to need to tell me how to pronounce that. Korkalem? Korkalim? And is this the military? So is this the elite group? Korkalim. Okay. All right, Dazzlecat, got yours. Copy link address. No, above the law. Oh, okay. Yeah, we read another one. We read one of those on last night's stream. All right, for this word's Dinosaur Bob. All right, let me get a copy of that address. Let me get back to 413. All right. Good, we got that. Okay, so we have those three for now. eSongbird. Okay. Copy link address. All right, we have 4. Let's see how well we do with these 4. I'm lucky. I'm not popular. I've just been very blessed and lucky and accepted in this community, for which I am extremely grateful, and looking forward to many, many months and years ahead. All right, let's get into our first one, for no reason. Korkalim, and I'm gonna turn off the music. I found it was distracting last night trying to read and have a. Okay, this is an organization that is above the law. Okay, so all right. Pinned to the ground, the merchant was helpless as she dragged the edge of her blade across his throat. She rose to her feet, her job done. Hundreds of terrified eyes watched her now, wondering if they were next. Guards rushed to the scene, swords drawn, yelling at her to surrender. Calmly, she wiped her dagger clean and sheathed it. She approached them, offering her hands, and was manacled. They held an image. They had an image to maintain, after all. Either way, she would be asleep in her own bed soon enough. Ooh, okay. The merchant was helpless as she dragged the edge of her. Yeah. Okay, that is a good thing to start off on. It's visceral. It's blatant. I do like they had an image to maintain, after all. I do like the nonchalantness of the narrative that was there. Yeah, it was good. That's a good call out there. And my eyes were naturally drawn to that in the article, so that's why I read it first. So yeah, that's That's a good bit of narrative. Again, I'm missing all that narrative. I'm feeling lucky that I get my article prompts written, as demonstrated earlier. All right, murder, kidnapping, extortion, and theft. These are just a few of the jobs of the Kor Kalim. The Okay, no, sorry. These are just a few of the jobs the Kor Kalim are called upon to perform for the Il-Suvati. They are primarily used to maintain the Il-Suvati family's power in the Murgathi Confederacy by overtly attacking their enemies, perceived or true, and sending a warning to would-be rivals. Okay. Overt methodology. Arrogance and bravado are part of their training, and while useful in matters internal to the Confederacy, has been known to cause problems for the Il-Suvati in the rare instances when they are sent abroad for clandestine operations. In each of their assignments, they are sure to make use of high visibility and high impact magic whenever possible, giving their opposition little chance to resist. I think I'd change that resist. Those incapable of magic wield their masterfully crafted and iconic glass blades and toy with their victims instead. Without fail, each mission results in new rumors and tales told in the local taverns. This bluster also makes Kor Kalim agents practically untouchable by law enforcement. Town guards usually completely ignore the comings and goings of the agents, not wanting to end up on the wrong side of their spells or blades. Occasionally, they will even offer assistance to known Kor Kalim members in hopes of receiving a reward. Only when the Il-Suvati decide that individual agents are becoming too much of a risk to the family will they lose their protection of their reputation. Cool. All right. Let's break this down. Okay, so we have the Kor Kalim agents, we have the Il-Suvati family, we have the Murgathi Confederacy. Those look like the three power players, and the police as a part of the Murgathi Confederacy. So this is a relatively short article, which is okay. But let me, for everyone who submitted an article, please put in the chat what kind of feedback you're looking for. Just typing all caps feedback, and then type what kind of feedback you're looking for. And if it's anything, that works too. Okay, so for no reason, the questions I have for this are, we have the three organizations. We have the Kor Kalim. I definitely plan on expanding it. Okay, good. The things that I would recommend, because the questions that I have in my mind about this article are about the relationship between the three organizations. Okay. First, why did the Il-Suvati think it was necessary to have a Kor Kalim? At what point did the family get into power enough to be able to have Kor Kalim? Then, also, how did the Il-Suvati family get enough power within the Murgathi Confederacy to be able to allow the Kor Kalim to act with impunity? Okay, so those are the kind of things that I would like to know more about the Kor Kalim. Is, you say that they get away with it, but how? And why is the Il-Suvati a crime family, a crime syndicate, a mafia? a cartel, is the Confederacy. Now, usually when okay, really good question. My players will probably be asking the same when they deal with them. Okay, this is an RPG setting. Okay, so that's good to know as well, because I come from the writing, narrative, short story, novel back. For you, okay, you'll be expanding that in their own article. Good, good. Um, will you also be expanding the Morgothi Confederacy as well? Because the word confederacy is a loose association between organizations. I will, yes. Okay. So let's take the history of the United States for a little bit. Uh, the beginning, there were 13 independent colonies along the eastern seaboard of the United States. And after declaring independence and fighting the Revolutionary War, they for about 13 years lived under the Articles of Confederation. And this is where the states, or the former colonies, were very powerful, but there was a very, very weak organization in the middle that functioned under the Articles of Confederacy. That confederacy performed poorly. And so then later, under the Second Continental Congress, the Articles of Confederacy were thrown out, and the Constitution that we have today, or a form thereof, was established that gave more power to a central federal government and diminished the powers of the states. So the reason why I give that short history lesson is because when you talk about the Morgothi Confederacy, does the Ilsuvati have access to power everywhere and in all parts of the Confederacy? Are they more powerful in some places, less powerful in others? Because if this person here was able in would she, the assassin, be able to get away with that action everywhere? I don't know. But if with your players, and especially if one of your players chose to be a former member of the Core Kalim, would um, would they feel safer in some areas than other areas, or would they want to try to avoid a specific area because they know that they left under bad pretenses? They are no longer in good graces with the Core Kalim. They have a price on their head, and so that they would want to avoid it. They You say that if individual agents are becoming too much of a risk to the family, well, does that mean what's the retirement plan of the Core Kalim? Is it a plot of land 6 feet under the surface, or is it put into a less visible role? That would be interesting to know more about the Core Kalim. But yeah, this is a great foundation, great visceral introduction that you have there. I do like that. All right. Great job. Great job there. Thought of retirement. Yeah, you always have to have an exit strategy. And that could be a really cool NPC player that your party could run into, is a member of the Core Kalim who is on the run and wants revenge against the Core Kalim, or against, they could, access the Ilsuvati stronghold and be able to do a treasure raid or something like that. That could be a fun one shot, or a fun couple of weeks, having that NPC character, which you're not sure if they're good, they're evil, why did they leave, and all that stuff. All right, Forno Raisin, thank you so much for sharing that. All right, let's go to the Writ of Travel Thumb Ring. Okay, and this is by Dazzlecat. All right, and they're asking for anything with feedback. All right, hydrate. Rate of travel thumb ring. Oh, let's get this a little bigger here. All right. A thumb ring is a non-magical ring of various metals and scrolled to present that person's affiliations and the name of the wearer. Those affiliations in good standing with the High Guild have permission to use the gateways that carry out instantaneous travel around the world. Trading companies, guilds, and organizations of all kinds give these rings to their people. Rulers, noble houses, and such also do the same. Only royalty has rings of platinum. Other nobility and very wealthy have gold rings. All other groups have silver rings. Servants of other ring wearers have copper rings. I like the hierarchy there that you have. Since rings are very small, every group has its own unique sigil that is listed in the gate's registry and memorized by the conductors, wizards whose duty it is to know who is permitted to use the gateways. Maintaining the High Guild's favor is the most important negotiation for any group that wishes to instantly move beyond the borders of its native land. The practice of bribing the conductors during times when a group is in disfavor is exceedingly expensive, as conductors are highly paid and privileged within the High Guild. That is some good world building and character development of the conductors. Dazzlecat, is this a novel or RPG setting? Because I really liked that I knew that about For No Reason. About a little bit about that. Theft of thumb rings is a risky but lucrative business, and forgeries are impossible, though the changing of a name is possible and often legitimately done when a ring is confiscated. Being caught with a stolen, it's both, okay. Being caught with a stolen thumb ring is punishable by the removal of the hand wearing the false ring. Cool. The second offense is punished by death. Neither offense involves a judiciary ruling unless the offender is nobility or royalty. All others are dealt with by the conductors at the time they are caught. Beyond the gateway, thumb rings are a sign of prestige among commoners, and it is they who most often buy the stolen thumb rings as a means of improving their status. Using the gateway is rarely of interest to them. Okay. Question. Gateways. Are these like Stargate SG-1, where a portal opens up in a worm tunnel you walk through and you're magically somewhere else? Is that the gateway that I'm thinking about? Basically, okay. Now you say a thumb ring is non-magical, however, it cannot be forged. Forgeries are impossible. How are those two things true at the same time? I'm not sure. Because traditionally, if it's a non-magical ring, do you mean that it can't be used in magic, or that it is not made through magical means? Because that's the non-magical portion of that is confusing, where you're talking about forgeries are impossible. Just an observation of those two different things. All right. The High Guild, good standing with the High Guild, have permission. It's the magic of the conductors that detects the truth of the rings. The magic of the conductors that detect the truth of the rings. Okay. So a conductor knows instantly if a ring is stolen or being used fraudulently, and that they just know that because you did mention here uh, the gateway registries are memorized by the conductors. Is that the magic that you're referring to? Yes. Okay. Okay. Then I would expand upon that, that it's not only memorized, but that it's enforced through the magical means of the conductors. And I would this is a okay. So the sentence starts here and ends here. I would probably break off the explanation of wizards into a separate sentence and possibly even a sidebar. Kahuna! Welcome from the melting lands of Arizona. I think you're in Arizona. Uh, welcome. Yeah, because the conductors, you don't want to interrupt the flow of your description here, which is really good. California. What part of California? I lived in Anaheim for about 7 years. If you're in the Inland Empire, you have my condolences. um, okay, so yeah, I would probably Corona. Okay, all right. Oh, welcome. Um, my wife and I got married, moved to California, had a bunch of kids, and then left. But it was a fun time there. Okay, so yeah, Daz the Cat, I would probably take the that Wizards because I like the flow of it. I like how we're going from the thumb rings and just moving that and maybe adding more information in a sidebar for your conductors would be good. Maybe even a little bit of the high guild information, not as much as an article, but a little bit about the high guild and maybe a little bit about a gateway, just as a high level description, and then when you have an article, you could link to that. Okay, I really like. Okay, you have a hierarchy here, um, where you talk about the different levels of rings. I do like that, and I guess it's the magic of the conductors who prevent uh, the a merchant who would have a silver ring that would prevent a merchant. Well, okay, here's a question. Can a merchant who starts low level but makes it big trade in their ring for a gold one? Because that could be like an ambition of an up and coming entrepreneur merchant, that's his or hers obsession in life. Yes, for a price, of course. Of course. Now, in the different metals, these are, I presume, identification, but does having a different ring give uh, other preferences? Like if you have a gold or platinum, you get to move to the head of the line. If you're a servant, you have to use the gateways as a red eye flight in the middle of the night. Are there benefits? I do like here, Lorraine, welcome. I'm catching a WriterGreg stream. Okay, Lorraine, welcome. I do appreciate your joining us tonight, and we have a couple of articles in, but depending how long we go, and also when W.D. Michael starts, it will depend on how many of the critiques or showcases that we do. Okay, so Dazzler Cat basically yet. All right, basically yes. I do like how there is a risky but lucrative business. I do like how there is that punishment. I left Zags to play Wii Fit. I had a Wii Fit until I exceeded the amount that it was a safe to use the Wii Fit. I'm jealous. You can play the Wii Fit. I still have it out there collecting dust. I'll get back there someday. All right. Count on it. Okay. It's one of my goals. I have a vision board that you can't see that's up there. And so every time I sit at my desk, I look up there and I have, I have it. I had a Wii Fit when I saw the vet bill for my pup surgery. Oh, I had a Wii Fit. Yeah, my dog. We just finished his three-month treatment for his immunization shots, and he already has. He's going to be a huge dog, and there's already going to be a limp that he's developing. So I'm not looking forward to that. Okay, sorry. Back to the back to the article. I do like that you talk about this. I would probably put another header in here. I would probably, use headers to break out the information for easy scanning of information. Prestige among commoners using the gateway is rarely of interest to them. So the reason why the theft of thumb rings is lucrative is because they would wear the stolen rings because they don't care about actually using the gateway, and only the conductors know that a gateway knows that it's a fake ring. So I'm presuming that is the case. But yes, very, very good article. It is a big block of text. Adding sidebars, breaking down in headers would do really well. So yeah, really good job there. Okay, next we are going to the Acorn Cloak Clasp. Let's see. It means gaining status and privilege among commoners. So if you have a silver ring, people buy you drinks at the tavern. I mean, that kind of thing. Okay, this is RPG Dinosaur Bob. Could use some feedback. Okay, I will, Galandan, I will add that to the queue. I think we have 30 minutes or so, depending on when WD Michael starts. Okay, the Acorn Cloak Clasp. Now, you must always remember the meaning of this token, signifying that you are a friend of the Feywood, must never be known to those not of the friendship. Most in your world will think it crude, simple, and will not crave to duplicate it. This is what we want, for to us it is a mark of one to be trusted and aided. Now take care, and may Birdia guide your steps. Okay. This is... Oh, that's the cat. I'm glad I was able to help. Now, RPG Bob, Dinosaur Bob, what kind of feedback are you looking for? And is this an RPG setting or a novel? Dryad Amalthea presenting the Human Ranger Branwyn Pinman with an Acorn Cloak Clasp. Oh, nice picture. Okay. Two acorns joined together with a cord, no more than an inch apart. Have at it. You got it. The cord appears to be made of fine, strong silk. The acorns are small enough to be passed through the buttonholes on a common cloak. As jewelry goes, it is certainly crude and poor-looking, as that is what is intended. But to those who understand its significance, it represents an honor that is only rarely been bestowed within the Feywood since the Great Strife, indeed no more than a handful of times. RPG for now, but who knows. Okay, one of the 7 ancient forests of Carterion, the Feywood exists since the first Alavar brought life to the world many thousands of years ago. Cool, ancient. So the Fey, not drawn, Pixabay stitched, 2 copies stitched together. Hey, what works works. So the Feywood is one of the 7 ancient forests, but all 7 of the forests exist on the same plane of existence. Like you don't need to use plane shift or something to get there. The Great Strife, also called by some the God War, was a period of approximately 100 years when the Astralar, who divided into 2 major camps, the light and the dark, warred among themselves. The war, of course, also carried out on Kitteran by the followers of the gods. The result was devastation. All across Carterion, lands were forever marred, populations were wiped out, cultures were wiped out. It has been 2,200 years since the war ended. Carterion is still recovering. Yes, one world. Okay. 2,200 years. That's a long, long time. Okay, when you think about 2,200 years ago, the Old Testament ended 2,400 years ago. I mean, a lot's changed. Granted, most of that change has been in the last millennia, but yeah. Okay, but that's not the issue of this article. That just seems like a long time in my POV. This crude, simple closure is, in fact, a badge of high honor in the Feywood, for it is the mark of one who has been affirmed as a friend of the Feywood. Members of the folk that are recognized by dryads and nereids overseeing the Feywood for dedicated service toward helping to preserve this sanctity of the Feywood forest. Okay, it took a long time to recover. Fair enough. This honor is earnable only by non-elves that have demonstrated more than just a regard for the nature of Feywood. To the Fey, greater and lesser of the forest, it is a mark of one who can be trusted to have the best interests of the forest in mind. It is also the mark of one who is to be aided, warned of dangers ahead perhaps, or assisted when in distress. Okay, I like that. The clasp is used to secure a common cloak around the neck. The acorns pass through the buttonholes on each side of the cloak collar. There is nothing special or magical about how the clasp performs its obvious function, but there is something special about the clasp. The Fae can immediately discern between one that they properly bestowed upon a worthy recipient and one that was crafted by other than the Fae, either out of ignorance or in order to deceive. What it is that the Fae can sense about the real item is completely unknown. And since the learned sages who would research such a thing do not even know of their existence, it is likely to remain unknown for some time. Okay. Elves are assumed to be friends of the Fae. Okay. Now, what's your definition of Fae? You had friends of the. Is your Fae the Dryads and the Nereids? Is that your definition of Fae? So magical users who are druid in nature, druidic, exceedingly rare. There are only 3 known to have been presented in the past 100 years. Oh, okay. Appears to be worth at most a copper to. Yeah, I like that. but incredibly strong woven spider silk. Pardon, my lord, but that's a unique cloak clasp you got there. I've seen plenty of designs and seen plenty more, but I don't recall seeing one quite like that. Are they real acorns? Aye, but it's nothing, just something I had to fashion in the forest when me old one broke. Now I've just come to like it. Merchant and a friend of the Feywood conversing in a shop. Oh, okay. Dryads, naiads, sprites, pixies, many others. Okay, cool. Okay. Wow, you got a lot of Fey. Types of Fey. Okay. I don't know what a Nereid is. The Nereid, Nereid. I don't know what that is. I've heard of the others. I don't really have a lot to say about this because it's interesting. There are only 3 known to be presented. That's interesting to know. But this isn't the place to talk about those who have received it. So yeah, that's okay. I do like the introductory and the closing paragraphs. Those, okay. Yeah, I'm not really getting anything off of this. This is well done, well thought out. You cover um, the significance of it, the craftsmanship of it. The only thing that I would think about is it's right here. What it is that the Fae can sense about the real item is completely unknown. Is that a potential plot point? River, sea. Oh, okay, like a sea fairy or a sea sprite. Or okay. Is the fact that the Fae know how to do it gonna be a plot point to your RPG players? Is this process that is bestowed upon the Acorn Cloak clasp used anywhere else? Is because if it's going to be a plot point that you don't want your RPG, it was a punt, really. Fair enough. I have nothing but punts in my stories. Yeah, okay. But that could be something to think about. And that's really the only thing I can think about right now is that the process under which this ability to not have something be fabricated or forged, the first person who figured that out, or is that a tightly close secret? Is it common knowledge among all the Fae on how to do that, or is that specifically, are there specific craftsmen who focus only on the ability to prevent forgeries? Am I having problems? Am I having streaming problems, Scribe? But now that I mention it, I'm dying to know what I mentioned. Okay. I have fiber to the curb. I'm grateful that I live in a place where I have fiber to my house. So just a few greater Fae. Okay, yeah. Because if you're Fae, depending on how long lived the greater Fae live, you may not need to have a lot of people, because if you're only making 3 every 100 years, not knowing if you need to have a stockpile of them, or if there's a lost art, or if do they recollect them at the end okay, if the Fae are long-lived, do they make an effort to claim the acorn clasp back when the friend of the Feywood dies? Oh, you mentioned plot hook. Yeah. Um, yeah, anything can be a plot hook. I mean, there's a person who wrote a whole book on about how to manufacture a pencil. You know, it's all good. Great. Good article. Yeah, I'm drawing. No, having a hard time finding something. Okay, let's go to E Songbirds, the letter of Mark. Okay, and I think you said letter rip too. Let me scroll back here. Flow and depth. What can I add? Refresh the page. Have you been making edits? The only reason there's 3 is because they haven't been people to earn them until recently. That's fair. Okay, refreshed. Okay. Letters of Mark. There was so much discussion about letters of Mark 2 days ago. I had to Google what this is, so I'm glad I actually know what it is, and it's not spelt like my brother. A letter of marque is a formal agreement between a kingdom government and a pirate/smuggler designed to turn illegal skills to financial kingdom-wide gain. After a series of devastating defeats, complete destruction of the Keolan navy, King Scotty negotiated, double verb, an official truce between Keoland and Sea Lord Kahuna Eldare. Kahuna Eldare, also known as Kahuna the Elder. Yes, that. I don't know if my grins are cheeky, but that's as close as I get to it. All right, in this agreement, official Navy ships were barred from attacking Sea Prince vessels, but private contractors were not mentioned. The letter of marque is a historical document that has recently gained favor within the 2 kingdoms as a workaround between the treaty. In Keoland, letters of marque are issued by the High Court of Admiralty. This document is seen as a face-saving alternative for war and a domestically friendly tax alternative for generating reconstruction funds. Okay. First question. I'm assuming that this is a well-known practice and they just turn a blind eye to it. Okay. Oh, Scribe, welcome back. I'm assuming that they both know that this is happening and kind of just, well, let's see who can hire the better pirate smugglers. That would be my guess. You can see how much I love you streaming. Ah, thank you. I appreciate it. And this is, I think, the world that you and Esong collaborate upon. Okay, when first introduced, letters of marque were considered reliable ways to instill law-abiding habits into pirates and smugglers. This largely proved true, and marque-giving kingdoms quickly saw financial benefits. However, Rachel Ridd, the rascal, became part of seafaring legend for her abuse of the marque system. She petitioned for letters of marque from 2 warring kingdoms. Through illusion magic, she was able to project a completely different image onto her ship, allowing her to attack whomever she wanted. During a particularly grueling battle, the ship wizard fainted from exhaustion and the illusion dissipated, baffling the attacking ship. This provided enough hesitation to allow Rascal Rachel's ship, the Lear Alail, Ali, Lara Ali, to safely escape. Subsequent letters of marque were written in blood to prevent system abuse. Back, how's it going? I'm having fun. I hope everyone else is having fun. I'm having fun. Okay. Another question, E Songbird. You say that the letters of marque were written in blood to prevent system abuse. I don't see how... Lorraine Ali. Oh, okay. Laura Ali. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that one. Is Rachel Rid also a reference? If there's time. Maybe. Donated by a chat. Copy link address. Paste. Okay. I don't see how a letter of marque written in blood prevented the situation that Rachel Rid did, because she got 2 letters of marque and she used magic to disguise her ship. I don't know how writing in blood prevents that kind of system abuse. Copy link address. Paste. Okay. Terms and clauses. Letters of marque are issued by the High Court of Admiralty and considered lifelong contracts renewed in 5-year spurts. Converted ships and goods are to be brought before the Admiralty before the Admiralty courts for condemnation and sale. Holders of marque are given a share of the profits and the appreciation of a grateful nation. Nope, I was here doing last-minute spelling corrections. Okay. Document structure. It is a great name. Legal status. Letters of marque are considered valid only under the kingdom which they were issued. Sometimes inter-kingdom treaties would include clauses honoring others' letters of marque. This is usually done to prevent being a marque target. If an individual is captured by another kingdom while holding a letter of marque, they are treated as attackers and either sentenced to long prison stays or execution. Alternatively, all goods aboard the offending ship may be confiscated. Okay. I'm still wondering why blood to prevent system abuse. That's still kind of... Public reaction. The letters of marque are not well known to the public, but within the smuggling world, the letters of marque are seen as desirable alternatives to execution. Members of Navy look at letter of marque holders with a hint of disdain. Only a hint? These individuals rarely follow the same code of military honor and seen as opportunistic contractors, which they are. Read the document. Whoa. Okay. I'm not going to read that because I do want to help raid W.D. Michael when he goes live, and I would like to get the other 3. So, what happened there? Interesting. Okay. Good. I still love that picture up there. Okay, I do like the idea, the concept. I'm just... It's this famous letter holders of marque that I'm not understanding on how the 2 situations tie together. Just read the first 2 sentences. Okay. King Scotty VII, by the grace of the gods of alignment, King of Keoland, to our trusted Captain Rachel Rid, commander of the Lyre Ali, with a crew of 60. Greetings. Whereas we are informed that Captain Zarog Madrog, Captain Quill Rillian, and Captain Rytherbrog and other subjects, native or inheritance of the Sea Princess and elsewhere in the Azure Sea, have associated themselves with divers others, wicked and ill-disposed persons, and do against the laws of nations of God, commit to many great piracies, robberies, and on the seas thereupon. That's You're good. I just wanted those names out. Okay. Yes, Dinosaur Bob, thank you for calling out. I am 5 followers away from being able to apply for for affiliate. Man, it's already late. Wanted to see yourself. Wait. Oh, you. That's so sweet. I forgot to like it. I'm sorry. Like. I'm already following your world, and I hope I missed it. Is that. What's the reference? WriterGreg. All right, that's fun. Thank you so much. Hit refresh on mine if you read it. Okay. All right, so let's shut that down. Again, that was fun. All right. Anhara. Anhara. Oh yeah, this is nice. History, founding government. Okay, looks like we have some. That is what. Looking for feedback on the images evoked in the geography bit. Okay, let's get down back to what software did you use? I'm curious to know. Like what the description made you think of. Incarnate? Incarnate? Okay. That's beautiful. Vinelands, East Marches. Is that marches or should that be marshes? Imgreshold. Wow. What's a march? I'm not sure what a march is. Since the days when Vestria herself rode the winds, we have lived in this land. Never before has the blood of so many of our people been splattered across these cliffs. Never before had we thought such inroads could be made from the sea. Olivi Lord Carson, The Cliffside Chronicles. A border territory focused on defense. Incarnate is really good. Just switch to it. Could somebody put a link to Incarnate into the chat? I'd appreciate that. Anhara is made up of 6 major regions, starting at the border of Al Tahat and stretching from the Gulf of Otiso in the south to Kersit in the north are the East Marches. This borderland, featuring frequent military clashes, has a high concentration of fortified towns and castles in its east, along the rocky cliffs and mountains facing the desert tribes. Midway down its border, interrupting the rows of mountains, is the mouth of the Naira River. Okay, let me just copy this. Copy link address. Which flows east to the sea. This fertile river valley provides much of the food and production for the East Marches, and feature numerous settlements, including Somé, the house Thewisi, The keepers of the east marches, and at its mouth lies Imgreshold, the first line of defense against incursions from the tribesmen of Julfar Savannah. East Song. Yeah, so I thought it was a marsh, but it looks like it's a march. So, AJ, welcome. Okay. Okay, there's Jafar, Osgodo, Cesare, Immigrants. Okay, the river. So this is a very fertile land. Yeah, I think Lorraine has it there. Marshes are environment, marches are political based. Yeah. So the East marches, that makes sense. And so this is commonly fought over battle area. Okay. And so if we go back to the top, yeah, the East marches are there literally at the east. We have the West marches. Is the border with the desert tribes to the east. Okay. Jeunesse. That looks cool. Okay. Man, this is going to turn into a commercial for Incarnate, or however you pronounce it. The Vinelands. House Similian's patriarch purchased a lovely marble and bluestone manor in the Cloud District yesterday, cementing the movement of that little house to the Rostrum's ranks, the Whistling Observer. North of the East Marches lie the Vinelands, a territory of gently rolling hills covered in, unsurprisingly, grapevines. Nestled between rocky cliffs to the east and the waters of Lake Eaton to the west, these idyllic fields produce 90% of Anhara's wine and much valued commodity in a country of politicians. Twist that knife. Just twist that. Okay. Finishing its protective borders is Lake Salis to the south, separating it from the military-focused East Marches. Cloud District? You go up to the Cloud District very often. Oh, who am I kidding? Look at you. I'm feeling like Captain America who's not getting that reference. Okay. Okay. This protection directly correlates to productivity, as while it is one of the smallest regions in the nation, the Vinelands and its rulers, House Semilian, have made fortunes. The family seat of the Semilians at Surrey has grown into a major exporter, especially with the thawing in relations between Anhara and the Littoric Islands. Ah, okay, Littoric Islands. I remember reading those last night. Elevating them to true up-and-comers. Okay. I do like how you're making that distinction between that. I would be interested to know, are there many places that grow vines close to oceans? Playing Skyrim right before I bought WorldAnvil inspired me to world build, so little reference. Okay. In fact, almost every name in Anhara's map is a reference. Okay. Cool. 50 bushels of wheat burnt north of our seat at Creekside. Suspect provocateurs from House Etan are responsible. House Leon Guard report. Okay, Creekside. Okay, the Heights, Brooksfield, all right. Largely sealed off from the west of the nation by Coquette Heights, save a small southern plain, lies Vestral Downs, the breadbasket of Anhara. The Downs is full of scenic fields and farms as far as the eye can see. With the bifurcating Lake Eaton, oh, I love that word. With the bifurcating Lake Eaton in its center. Water is in abundance, as is protection. The first letter of the lake spell homes, like the American Great Lakes. Ah, fun. Given these factors and the central location of the region, its geography forms a natural arena for infighting and struggles between houses over a crucial food supply for the entire nation. While fences make good neighbors, noble houses do not. So true. And their rivalries often promulgate to even the farm level. Oh, that good building. This leads to intensely partisan loyalties in the citizens of the Vestral Downs, and colorful flags, buntings, and the occasional farm raid are not uncommon. From north to south, the family seats in this region are Brooksfield, Jeunesse, the seat of the presently dominant House E10, Creekside, and Firthwatch. Okay, Firthwatch. Okay, let's go back to bifurcating Lake Ethan as its protection. Lake Eaton. Okay, I'm not sure how a lake that's in the middle of the Vestral Downs offers protection to the valley, because for the town of Jeunesse, very much so. That's a very fortifiable and defensible island that could offer protection, but it doesn't do so much for Brookfield, Creekside, or Firthwatch. Oh, there's some giant statue there. Cool. So I'm a little confused with the as is protection, because it's protection for them. I noticed that as I read it. Okay. But if we go, my scroll wheel. Yeah, because here where you have these, the Coquette Heights and Sagina Bay, this is very open to attack and just marching straight through it. It's more accessible. The Vestral Downs are more accessible to the east marches, because if these desert tribes wanted to attack, sure, they could go to Imgreshold, but Firthwatch would also be very susceptible, unless these tiny islands on Sagina Bay are turned into naval outports. I think my original thought was about how segmented the area is. The article is about how frequent fighting in the area, so I don't know why I added the protection bit. Good catch. Okay. I'm really enjoying the article. I'm really enjoying the reading, and so anything that I'm doing here is nitpicking. Coquette Heights. Now this is defensible. She spoke with a voice loud as thunder and as fluid as the wind. There will be no noise in this chamber, said Vestria, for the weather was foul that day. The Book of Etiquette. Okay. Covering much of central and western Anhara are the Croquette Heights, a V-shaped mountain range featuring many of the nation's oldest cities. Here, in her marble tower, on the east bank of Lake Mira, landed Vestria when she began her rule over the region. On the opposite side of the lake sits Meridia, the capital of Anhara, with commanding towers topped in the local bluestone. This city of arches and waterfalls is the cynosure of all within sight of it. A person or thing that is at the center of attention or admiration. Okay. On the northern side of Lake Mira sits the cities of Lanera and Aradel, both seats of some of the most ancient houses in the nation. While there are many streams, waterfalls, snowmelts flowing into the lake, only the Mira River flows north to Haneo Bay, and in turn the sea. As its mouth sits in the final great city of the Coquette Heights, Port Castilian, the primary entrepot of the capital region. Thank you, Civ 6, for teaching me that word. Yeah. I missed Civ 6, I guess. Politically, the area is not centralized under any particular noble house. Rather, owing to its age and status as the capital, policies of various ages and statutes reign. As the rhetor is an elected head of state, and therefore the noble house occupying the position changes, the capital falls under the control of a number of titles. While the rhetor is technically steward of the city, he or she typically delegates the power to a resident of high standing. However, that is only for the administrative management of the city, as the College of Vestral Priestesses still hold power over much of the city, particularly the Cloud District. Okay. Yeah. I just want to take. Okay, good. This is a nice V shape. I was concerned that it was gonna be like a U shape, but a V shape makes a lot more sense geographically and geologically. The Verdante. Okay. The following is a traditional song we sung while hauling Lumiere through the forest. I've got a mule and her name is Val. 15 years on the Ventinary Trail. She's a good old worker and a good old pal. 15 years on the Verdant Trail. That needs a space. Okay, we've hauled some wagons in our day, filled with lumber, ale, and hay, and every inch of the way we know, from Sarnia to Haneo. Low Branch, everyone down. Low Branch, we're coming to a town, and you'll always know whether your neighbor. I'm sorry, I've lost my tune. And you've always known your neighbor. You've always known your pal. If you ever navigated the Verdante Trail. That's fun. I hope I didn't kill it. I was inquiring. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I was concerned no one would be American enough to know that tune. Okay, I was singing the Beverly Hillbillies theme song. You know, a man named Judd. Oh, is that really what it's supposed to be? Is the Beverly Hillbillies theme song? I'm glad I don't have a clip it feature yet, but if maybe they used the tune. Yeah, there are a lot of tunes out there. It's the Erie Canal. Okay, it's the Erie Canal where I live. Oh, okay, you're up there in New York area. The entire country is a reference to the Erie Canal's path. Okay, Buffalo, New. Okay, yeah. In after fourth grade, when I was 12 years old, my family and I went through that area on a tour. Went to Niagara Falls. It was cool. Okay, one of the largest regions, but least populous. This northwest corner, and okay, if you want a real version of that, 16 years on the Erie Canal. Okay, that would be fun to get a choir together and just sing that. Whatever. I'm sorry. I'm getting punch drunk. Um, Culturally, this region is much less inclined toward the high politics of the rest. Did I skip some? I'm sorry. The northwest corner of Ahara is primary source of lumber for much of the nation, owing to the complex system of laws and forests and their use. The dense trees of the Verdante are one of the few areas where production of lumber goes beyond the basic needs of the region's inhabitants. Lumber is hewn in the two northern towns of Elmwood and Ashfall. Okay, I like those names. Before being carted south along the cliff-covered coast to the primary city of Sarnia. Sitting at the mouth of the river Helen, Sarnia is the most prosperous settlement in Verdante and the seat of House Osage, which makes it income primarily from exports to the Littoric Islands shipyards. Culturally, this region is much less inclined toward the high politics of the rest of Anhara, with its geography forcing the region to be segmented from the rest of Anhara. The Verdante is as difficult to penetrate and unchanging as its primordial forests. Cool. Now, I'll have Springsteen redo his cover. I miss choir singing. Yeah, I was never good at. I was in a concert choir in high school for a while. I miss playing my flute. That's back, but that's back with my parents. Yeah, I might be able to dig out a kazoo or a nose whistle around here. Sorry. You guys are getting to know me rather well. It's funny. Okay, so back to this. You talk about the primordial in your previous article that we talked about. I think was it last night, where we talked about the people that could swim between the islands. Oh, you didn't dox yourself. It's a big city. Yeah, different country. Oh, okay. When you talk about the, it's not a big city. When you talk about the swimmers who could swim preternaturally fast, is there something similar to the lumber, or that is there a reason why the forest stay so good? Is it all because of the complex systems of laws and forests around the forest and their use? Because after a couple hundred years, a dense forest could be taken out. Yeah, the forest thing is the law. Okay, cool. The West Marches. 3 ships from the jungles came through the port today. The first seen since who knows when. Message is to be dispatched to the capital. Their sort of power is more to do with politics. Okay. At the southwestern edge of Anhara, nestled between the waters of Lake Helen and Jungle Nation name, sits the West Marches. Not as militant as the eastern counterpart, this borderland rarely sees conflict with its jungle neighbors. In the north of the region, just across the river of the verdant capital of Sirnia, sits Cape Kirpina, the ancestral house of Agus. It has declined in recent years as the threat of incursion via the jungle borders have decreased. With the decline of the family, their former vassals, House Buckler and their seat in Athport, have come into their own. Situated between the river mouth and the cliffs of Sargina Bay, Athport has become a staple port for goods from the jungle and developed into one of the more culturally diverse cities of the region. Athport, okay. Oh, I didn't name it. Oh, there's plenty of things. There's plenty. This is a very well polished article. Could someone jump into WD Michael's stream. Has he started already? Religion. Anhara has one of the most hands-on goddesses during the Age of Rule in the form of Vestria. Vestria. From the cloudy tip of the Vestrial Tower, her ever-changing whims dominated the system of government in Anhara. Okay, so he hasn't started yet? Okay. He's not up yet. Oh no, I have two more articles here, and I don't want to shortchange them, but I also don't want to go in over someone else who wants to have it. His kids might still be awake. Oh, okay. Yeah, I do like this style. I do like the style of the reading. It's reading really well. Uh, I like the different things that are going in here. Oh, Songbird, you're almost to affiliate? You have enough followers? Because that's where I'm short still. Okay, the Book of Etiquette. These, I'm liking this. It's doing really well. You got the followers last week. Okay, all right. Okay, I tried after some of your criticisms of my 1800s comma-based writing you offered last night. Okay. Yeah, oh good. I'm glad that was helpful. Okay, let's finish these off and then we'll jump into hopefully uh, the others haven't left. These tenets of behavior and civility are dictated by the Book of Etiquette, a document updated infrequently but with societal changes effects over time. The Book of Etiquette was originally created by a series of high priestesses of Vestria as an attempt to record the whims of their goddess with some consistency, jotting down all her criticisms and punishments as they occurred. The Book of Etiquette was also grown to include crucial concepts within civil law which carry weight in the world of etiquette, such as forest law and the process of becoming a noble house. Cool. You say that it's updated infrequently. So, because we have the age of law or rule. Yeah, the age of rule. And then afterwards, we have the age of man that we reviewed in a previous article. Was this book changing a lot while Vestria was around and it stopped changing under the age of man? Oh, okay. Dinosaur Bob. He needs 23 followers and will be on tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right after Shy Red Fox. Okay, during the Age of Rule, it was being written. Okay, so it was really codified after her rule, and yeah, okay. The priesthood. The College of Vestral Priestesses was originally established as handmaidens of Vestria, but during their service as the roles they played evolved as the political culture of the nation increased, Vestral priestesses took on a secretarial role to Vestria's court, managing audiences between lords of noble houses and their goddess. Following Vestria's exit in the crossing over, the rostrum moved their legislative chamber to Meridia, the cultural but not yet governmental capital of Arhana. That is, the religious section was written during your stream, so it's a major work in progress. I do like it. The religion part that you have here, you're doing this is good work. The Book of Etiquette, because if it is a book of scripture, does it have the clout of scripture? Because you have multiple kinds of books of scripture. You have those that are narrative based or historical based, like the Talmud. You have those that are writings, such as the later Old Testament. You have chronologies like the Book of Chronicles in the New Testament. Uh, the Quran is mostly just speeches or um, practices. Think this book of Deuteronomy is of its okay, yeah, okay. Book of Deuteronomy and Leviticus. Yeah, that okay. I completely catch that reference. That those are hard to read. Uh, Anyone who has read the first 5 books and made it through Numbers and Deuteronomy and Leviticus, that'd be established early in the article. Good. Great foundation. I love the maps. Darth Nicholas, welcome. And thank you so much for following me. We're getting so much closer to being able to, yeah, yes, everyone, thank you, Darth. Yeah, let's. I don't want to get into a cultural critique of the of books that I hold dear, but parts of it are questionable in today's modern era. Okay, beautiful artwork. Love that. Okay, we are going back to New Deseret and Scribe. Scribe's New Deseret, all-terrain catering vehicle. Galadan, I've enjoyed I've done 3 of your articles now. I'm enjoying this world. All-terrain catering vehicle. This is definitely a vehicle that would make me happy. We lost the path sometime early in the morning. Our radios were broken and our map was washed downstream when we ran from what looked like a bat the size of a horse. All of a sudden, a drone appeared overhead, broadcasting a voice that told us to follow. After 30 more minutes, we came into a glade where one of the ATCVs was parked. We were served grilled fish, fresh fluffy rolls, seaweed salad, and what tasted like potato and clam chowder. After a long day out in the cold, it was hands down the best meal I have ever eaten. Lamarcus Pitts, field botanist. Yeah. More congrats to Galadan. Good stuff. All right. All-terrain catering vehicles were used by the Department of Culinary Arts in the first decades after landing on Deseret. ATCVs were important tools in providing meals to research and working parties out in the field, as well as searching for native ingredients that were edible for humans and livestock. Anywhere the colonists went, the ATCVs went with them, quickly becoming a part of popular culture. The chefs that crew the ATCVs were highly skilled botanists, biologists, and geologists in their own right, feverishly searching for new edible ingredients. Some crews focused on testing soil chemistry. That's where we get the geologists. Looking for good locations to develop Desereti terrier. Terrier? French term for a complete natural environment in which a particular food is produced, including factors such as soil, topography, and climate. Okay. Yeah, your articles are great. I'm Galadan. I repeat what Lorraine says. You guys saw me read an article. Okay. Terroir. Okay. ATCV crews, however, were first and foremost chefs. During the recruiting phase for the Deseret colonial expedition, no one knew what cuisine would best suit the needs of the colonists and the environmental limitations of their new home. Each chef that was selected was meant to be guardians of cooking techniques and recipes from different cultures and nations from old Earth. Oh, Galadan, don't feel like you're hogging chat, especially when your article is being critiqued. That's no problem. Uh, terroir. Hmm. This is where Deseret cuisine is going to be made. This is where the culinary traditions we envision for ourselves either take root or die. Helena Rodeo, Pattiser attached to ATCV2, the Wild Table. Okay. Holiday traditions. Unfortunately for colonists, working in the field could mean missing out on many of the holiday traditions that were created in the first years on planet. Deseret is colder than Earth, and records indicate that the winter of 1 DE was particularly harsh. During December, a particularly strong blizzard isolated many research parties out in the field. Concerned over the low morale among researchers, the crew of ATC 7, the Melting Pot, made a risky 500-kilometer drive to Zarahemla, where they gathered food, letters, and gifts from the community. Upon their return, head chef Juran Zielman and deputy chef Dafina Pritchett, costumed as King Wenceslas and his page from Christmas tradition, passed out gifts and letters while the rest of the crew prepared a feast. That is fun. King Wenceslas. Okay, scribe, tell me. Dun 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 dun. Bring me meat and bring me wine, bring me pine logs hither. Thou and I will see him dine, where we bear him thither. Page and monarch, forth they went together. Through the rude wind's wild lament and the bitter weather. Thank you. Thank you very much. Choir paid off. uh, lots of singing. Hey, there's always a reason to sing. Come on. News of the event spread quickly among colonists, and ATC crews at other locations began carrying out their own King Wenceslas parties. Over the years, these celebrations became a beloved tradition, with each year seeing new additions to the festivities. In the present day, it is common for caravans of ATCs to leave towns during December, each led by their own King Wenceslas and page, heading to remote research outposts or nearby towns. Modern ATCVs often carry supplies for large communal dining areas and mobile dancing floors. Allow. What Zog was singing and then remembered he always sings. I'm not Zog was singing, Sable was singing. Oh, yeah. I didn't catch Sable's singing. It's like you buy enough bits and she will do karaoke or something. Well, hopefully, good King Wenceslas. Oh, she sang this too? Oh, okay. All right. So, communal dining areas and mobile dancing floors. When you pursue great flavor, you also pursue great ecology. Dan Barber, American chef, early 21st century AD. Camp montage. Watch enough and you earn points. We got to get a we got to get a streamer choir. Well, that's the only way we're going to have a choir this year, that's for sure. Speed, okay. Cargo, hydrogen cells, wind turbines, solar panels, electric engine, satellite radar, repeat antenna, GPS, organic toxicity scanner, okay. Bulk cold storage compartment stoves, okay, yeah. Each ATC comes equipped with 10 small drones that can be programmed for collecting plant and herb ingredients. Okay. Another confession. I was I was a camp staff person for a couple years as a teenager, and skits are fun. I'll just leave it at that. We already have a choir director. Who's our choir director? Not me. Not it. I'm better in the bass section. Um, oh, where would okay? Radios were broken. The bat choir teacher. Oh, you're a choir teacher, you songbird. I didn't know that. Okay. Um, so scribe. I can imagine Dimitri's with a little baton. Okay. So when we talked about here at the beginning quote, looked like a bat the size of a horse, and then a drone appeared. Okay, so the drone is one of those that came from the ATCV to help them get to tell them where to go to get rid of the bat to get away from the bat the size of the horse. For some reason, I thought the drone was the size of a horse, but I read that wrong. That is a fun, very well developed article. I love the addition. Already, well, they were already away from the. Okay, I love the addition of the holiday traditions because it really gives us a reason why the ATCVs are beloved, not just by those who need it for research purposes, especially when people go out in December, leave towns, remote research outposts or nearby towns. Yeah, that is fun. Not about chef culture. So is Dan Barber that early 21st century AD? That seems like a contemporary, probably. He's a real chef in New York. Yeah, okay. That is fun. That is really fun. I don't have a lot of critiques for that. I'm too flustered from my singing demonstration to provide a lot of critiques. But yeah, excellent holiday traditions. I like how the ATCs have different names. A lot of story hooks that could be doing it. Whose philosophy on developing food production chains for good food I really like. Oh, okay. Thank you, Fantasy Name Generator, for the names. All right. Okay. One more article. This will be the last article for the night. And the Corrieve homepage. Lorraine. Hopefully, Lorraine. Yeah, you're still around. Oh, no problem, Scribe. Glad to read it. And I will never miss up an opportunity to embarrass myself. Refresh the page. Okay, refresh. I wonder what my kids are going to say. Dad, were you singing in there? Pritchett threw me, almost my name. Well, don't go doxing yourself even more. All right, naming day. Oh, is this, Lorraine, is this the birthday article? Okay. Thydian naming day. Name, birthday, yeah. Names are important. They can tell us who we are, who we were, who we will be. They define us as much as the color of your hair. As Thydian tradition, is that Thydian? Is that correct pronunciation? If you can't sing well, sing loud. Amen. When I went to Scout camp, a couple of my kids continued the tradition, and they were on a Scout camp. And I was surprised how many songs that I learned that I couldn't sing in their scout camp. Thedian. Thedian? Thedian? Thedian. Pushed out as fast as possible. Thedian. Thedian. Okay. Hopefully that sounds right. In Thedian tradition, a person has the ability to name themselves for various reasons. Others may name a person for something memorable about them, such as High King Magnus the Red-Eyed, being named for his red eyes. Magnus had also named himself by taking on the name of a successful Arl. Oh, an Arl is in charge of an Arling, political subdivision. Okay, kind of like an Earl, an Arl, who expanded his Arling's borders to cover almost a third of Thedum. Okay, another Mark naming children, but that was the third one. He will find his own name then. He'll grow up into a stubborn Thedian just like his mother. So is Mark supposed to be a name? I'd probably put that in single quotes and capitalize that if that is intended to be the name of a child. When a child is born, they are given a name by their parents. After about a week, if the child has not developed a marking, post-birth birthmark, rash, post-birth freckles, or other such marks, their name is considered bound to them. If a mark, okay, never mind about that. If a mark has developed, the parents try another name. After a third naming attempt, the child is given a nickname that takes place of a name until they find a name they wish to claim as their own. Interesting. Oh, but that was the third one. So this name Kid, Skarsvard, as a newborn. Okay, that makes sense. So they're exasperated that they've tried 3 names, and after each one, a mark has appeared. Okay. Hey, kiddo, what's the exciting news you're holding up in secret for tomorrow? It's your birthday. Aren't we the ones who are supposed to be keeping secrets from you tomorrow? Ha! I've got it. You got what, niece? My own name. That's fun. Yeah, kiddo. Yeah, okay. When a Thedian binds a name to themselves, they announce their name to the people close to them on their birthday, regardless of if they were a newborn who rejected previous naming attempts or not. They spend the next 3 weeks being referenced entirely by their new name until the name becomes habit for everyone around them for the newly named. Those who had been named as newborns often move the name they'd carried into a secondary name. Nada Lilius Elax was born yes, but as she grew up, she took the name Nada as her primary name, and that became her secondary name. Okay, I do like how you're using middle names there. So is it fair to say that no one is given a secondary name as a child? They're only given their first and surname? Just a guess. I don't know if that needs to be clarified. The name movement is kept for assisting in tracking down family members through the usage of secondary names is generally kept for individuals who are of higher social standing. Good to know. While many who are considered to be of lower social standing generally drop the secondary name. Okay. Middle names are not traditionally given. Okay, good. Thedian surnames are usually inherited or lineage-based, though some Thedians drop their lineage names for occupation or trait names. When a lineage name when a lineage name are used, we got some. I think that is used maybe. Uh, it is usually based on their parents' primary names. The daughter of Sven and Ingrid may be Sven's daughter or Ingrid's daughter, for example. That's how they do it in uh, Nordic countries, I think even today, with the very rare instance of grandparents' names being used with the suffix uh, barn on the end of the grandparent's name. Grandparent names are usually in the case of children raised by their grandparents due to the loss of their own parents at young age. Theedom is heavily inspired by Scandinavian culture. Yeah, my country of Rickenbacken is my Norse-inspired country in the world of Sagadorm. Inherited names are traditionally old names that were trait names or titles held by an ancestor. Some of the origins are lost in the thousands of years of history. Even the name carries on from one generation to the next. Trait names are generally given over a period of time. Magnus Red-Eyed was frequently described as red-eyed or the red-eyed man, until it became the name people associated with him. A person claiming a trait name for themselves is usually seen as an arrogant move and one most would mock the person for. Very fun. That really helps you know more about the person who would do that. A handful of individuals have claimed trait names for themselves, having faced early years of mockery after claiming the name, and then after proving themselves to be people of respect, and their arrogant move is considered earned. Okay. For lineage names or trait names, when an individual name claims a name, they, like the standard name claiming tradition, must spend 3 weeks after their birthday only being called by their new surname. In the case of orphans taking on lineage names with the barn suffix, the lineage name is bound to them at the first birthday where the child can clearly introduce themselves with their surname, usually a year or two after the child begins speaking understandably. Okay. I really like it. I like how I really do like the use of the Sven's daughter or Inger's daughter, because that does tie heavily. I mean, that does give it an influence that we don't usually see in fiction, or at least the fiction that I'm familiar with. Um, I work with kids, so I know that kids talking is not the same age as speaking in an understandable. Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. I, dang, what to say? Um, I do like how you're tying in genealogy into this and the name movement, tracking down family members. But is the use of secondary name really better in tracking down family members than surnames? Do people ever change their surnames? Because you claim a surname, but is it usually inherited or lineage based? Okay, yeah, like occupation or like Smith, Taylor, yeah, stuff like that. But that's more of an English tradition than a Scandinavian one. Okay. Fun. All right. Is W.D. Michael around? Could someone check W.D. Michael to see if because we have gone, wow, he is. Okay, good. Then, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for helping me tonight. Thank you so much for helping with me with my prompt. Thanks for those who have shared their stories and allowing me to read them and share my thoughts with them. This is a wonderful community, and we're getting that we get together to talk about this. I hope that we'll be able to keep doing that. For those who may be new, I do this every Monday through Saturday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. And if I am a member of the Anvilite Streamer Cores, I put WriterGreg, so it's 1 o'clock in the morning for those in the Greenwich Mean Time or European countries. I all of these VODs are available on twitch.tv. I do plan on keeping them and uploading them over on my YouTube channel. The link is down there below in the panels. So thank you so much for coming. So let me go to Raid. Yep, WD Michael is there and looks like he's already going. So let's gambate and have fun with the rest of your evening, and good luck with the rest of your prompts as we march forward, because it's diamond or bust here at WriterGreg. So thank you so much. Let's start this raid, and okay, 6 seconds. Songbird, hey, pre-congratulations on working getting that. So with that, good night, everybody, and have fun over at WD Michael. Good night.